So today I'm going to be doing a book review of You, a novel by Caroline Kepnes. This is a book that has been going around a lot on BookTube lately, and when I first heard about it, it really didn't sound like anything too profound or unique, but the more people that I saw adding it to their Goodreads TBR and hauling it on BookTube, I felt like I needed to give it a try. You follows a man named Joe Goldberg, who is a bookstore employee, and his new obsession comes in the form of an aspiring writer who comes to his bookstore one day. Joe soon discovers, when she makes the horrible mistake of paying by credit card, that her name is Beck. Joe soon begins to stalk Beck. He's breaking into her apartment, he's following her home from classes, he's spying on her as she has drinks with friends, while also hacking her email account. And so begins his journey into unhealthy psychotic obsession. You is told in a second-person narrative, so it's told from Joe's perspective in the second-person narrative throughout the entire book. That was something that initially really turned me off, but as soon as I started reading it, I was like, okay, this works really, really well. Because it ended up making the experience even more unsettling, because it was like when he said you weren't thinking of Beck. I mean, I wasn't thinking of Beck, I was thinking of me, and that was so creepy. Another thing that I really liked about this book was that usually in stories like this, the fixation is on an innocent, naive girl, and Beck was neither of those things. So I like that aspect of it, but having said that, Beck as a character, I hated her. She was a vapid, shallow kiddie pool, and there was nothing about her character that made me think, okay, I can kind of understand from my non-sociopathic point of view why he's obsessed. I mean, she's described as being like a beautiful Natalie Portman type, but I mean, if that's all you're after, that makes sense, I guess. But yeah, the character of Beck, I didn't really have sympathy for her. I didn't really care what happened to her. But having said that, that was another thing that made this experience so different from similar books with similar settings. Now, my favorite thing about this book had to be Joe, the narrator and person who is having this unhealthy, dangerous obsession with this young woman. The thing that I loved about reading from Joe's perspective is his social commentary on pop culture. Like, every page he mentions a book or a movie or some current event. He's got such a sardonic, bleak outlook on pretty much everything. It's almost like if he wasn't a narcissistic sociopath, he might be an okay guy. Now, the plot of the story, again, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's very similar to probably books that you've read before, but the thing that really made it different was the writing and Joe's voice and the fact that this is a very character-driven story. Now, I didn't really care about the character that you think you would care about, being, you know, the victim in this story. I really enjoyed reading the predator's perspective. It was such a strange, surreal, exciting experience, and I really have never read anything like it before. Now, there's actually a sequel to this book, and the ending to me, I mean, it could have been fine without a sequel, and it seems strange that it's getting a sequel, but the fact that this book is so different and so unsettling and so out of the norm makes me really excited for the sequel. I ended up giving You 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was so good. I enjoyed this book so much. It was so different. Like I mentioned before, it's told from the bad guy's perspective. It's told from the antagonist's perspective. It's not like in fantasy. It's like real life, true crime stuff going on here. But regardless, Caroline Kepnes had this way of just making it enjoyable and making her antagonist almost likable. Okay guys, so that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. In the comments below, I would love for you guys to let me know if you've read this book and what you thought of it. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me. I'd really like to get talking about this one. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, let's just talk about it because I need to interact on this one. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one.